Hey y'all, there's a lot to get to on this lesson, so I'm just going to get right into it. It's Here Comes the Sun. I'm actually tuned to the Bangladesh concert version, which I think is off in pitch by about a hair, to use a scientific term, from the Abbey Road version, but it's standard tuning and very close to standard pitch if it's not right on it. I don't know on Abbey Road if they manipulated the tape speed to make it sound a little brighter or whatever, but it is slightly off from the Bangladesh one. So I'm going to do that one. The other thing is I'm going to call the chord shapes from the capo, so I'm going to call this a D. Yes, I know that's a D, and this is not, but this is the way I do it. So if you're going to watch this lesson, you're going to have to suffer through that. Here it starts off with this little thing. Alright, let's just go through that, and I'm going to do that really slow. One more time. Alright, that's sort of the first half of the introduction. So it starts on a D. I'm going to try to give you as much guidance as I can on the picking hand, but to some extent that's just going to be your own efforts and hard work on figuring it out and practicing it. But it starts with it's sort of a bright little strum on the D, right? All that is lifting off the high E and back on again. High E to B, and then on that high E. It is important to hit that B when you're done with the high E though. You have to hit that one. And then high E second, off, then B for the transition. That's all we've done so far. And then, so that's just a G chord. I don't play the A string on it. I just mute it with my middle finger. All the way up through the B string. Hit the B string at the third, and then open E. Back to the B. Right? And he's actually going back. If you listen to that live one especially, you can really hear it. Where he keeps a rhythm going. So it's he's going back to that G note on that third fret. I don't know that you, if you're a beginner, you might not be able to get that rhythm, but that's how he does it. So this is what we got so far. And then A7, then open B string, back at 2 on the B, then 3 on B, then open E string. How does it go? Right. And now this is the second time. So the second time it does that same thing as at the beginning. Right? So that second time is the same G chord, except now you're second fret on the high E, open, and then B string at the third. And then hit that A7. Two-fingered A7. And then it comes in with the vocal, which repeats what you just did. And then actually the vocal comes in with the verse. Here comes the sun. Right? The sun. Right? That's an E. So the second chord is that same G. I guess that's a G6 that would be. Here comes the sun. Right? To E. That's a regular E. And then I think I make that an E7. I do it E to E7. I'm not sure if he does, but I just like the sound of it. And this is the It's Alright part. It's alright. Again, it's that same D thing you're doing. Right, that little turnaround, that really kind of makes the song. That goes G string at the sec to 4, B string third, open E string. So it's 4 on the G, 3 on the B. Then back to this B string stays at the third, so it goes 4 on the G, 2, then open G string, then back to 2. So that's walking down B at 3, 2, 0, and then G at the 2nd fret. Let me do it cleanly this time. That's the turnaround. So after you do the right, so it ends. That's all on that B string. High open E. Now you're back into a verse. So the first verse proper, it just goes through little darling. This is a verse. Now it's into the Here Comes the Sun chord. Now after a verse or two, I'm not sure how many, it goes and it stops on that A7 and goes, which is more complicated than it sounds. So it's A string, open A string, open at A string at 4th, so it goes 0, 4, and then D string at the 2nd. That's an F major 7 basically. You're not playing the high E string on it. So it's an F, C, you just on the A string, C, regular C, then A string is 2nd fret, basically no other fingered notes on it, A, D, G. So all in all, that part goes. The timing of that is a little bit weird because that's a thing, a George thing. That's one of those sort of timing things that they do in Indian music, so that's why it sounds not quite. There's something to our Western sensibilities that doesn't quite sound right, but it is right. And so it ends on a G. Back to A7, then do that whole thing again. And I don't know how many of those there are, maybe 6 or something. And then when it's getting back in, it goes. And it starts off with sort of the last verse. So that is the last time through to A7, and then off the B string, and then back on. Up to 3rd fret, 2nd, 3rd. Then there's this other version of an A7, which is basically at the 1, 2, 3, 5th fret, it's the B and the D. Back to the A7 suspended and A7. And this is the last verse. Just repeats it. At the very end, he does that F major 7. Just like you did it in that little middle 8 section. And ends on a D. And that, I'm pretty sure, is all the parts to it. Again, you'll need to get them in the right order and get the structure of it. But that will give you a good running start on it. So, as it turns out, I think that we're at 11 minutes. It was a little bit of a short lesson, but if the good news is if you don't know how to finger pick, there's no finger picking at all in it. It's all done with a flat pick. So that might help you if you were intimidated by finger picking. But other than that, it really is, once you get the circular pattern of it, it's the same bits over and over again. And the only thing that's odd about it is getting that, for me anyway, getting that time. Because I think typically what I would want to do is, or something like that, you know, but it doesn't do that. It's just that last one is a little bit of a stumper too. But if you have any trouble, send me a note. But I think if you really sit down with it and give it a little bit of time, you'll be able to string those together and nail it pretty well. Good luck.